Today is Sunday, March 3rd, 2024. My name is Lawrence, N6IFN. Very pleasant welcome to everybody. Each week, the network is joined by several affiliated repeaters, which enables us to provide coverage to our folks in Boulder City, the Las Vegas Valley, Pahrump, Amargosa Valley, and the Los Angeles Basin. In addition to our own repeaters, dozens of All-Star and X.org webpage. Just click there at the top of the page. Membership gives you access to the club's members-only webpage and also .groups.io page. To join, just visit w7hen.org right there on the homepage. QSTs follow. The February General Membership Meeting was very well attended. Many members showing their portable operations equipment. Lots of questions and great ideas were had by all. The General Membership Meetings are held on the fourth Tuesday, which means our next General Membership Meeting will be coming up on March 26th. Meetings take place at the American Legion BMI Post 40. It's located in Henderson, and the meetings do start at 6 p.m. And in between the General Membership Meetings, make sure to come by the Tuesday morning breakfast meeting, held every Tuesday morning, except the Tuesdays where a General Membership Meeting is held, which means next meeting is this Tuesday, March 5th. Breakfasts are held at the Skyline Hotel and Casino. It's in the restaurant, located at South Boulder Highway in Henderson. There is no official start time. We'll generally arrive anytime between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m. That's at the Skyline Hotel and Casino on South Boulder Highway in Henderson. And you don't have to be a member to attend any HARC meetings. That includes the General Membership Meeting or the breakfast meeting. Anyone with interest in amateur radio is welcome to any meeting we hold. The American Legion Radio Club at Talark, their meetings are held on the second Wednesday of each month, starting at 6 p.m. That means the next Talark meeting will be held Wednesday, March 13th. Their meetings are held at the same American Legion BMI Post 40. It's in the Annex trailer right next door. Again, the address is 425 East Van Wagenen Street in Henderson. And if you're a new ham looking for some practical amateur radio advice, we encourage you to try the Henderson Amateur Radio Club's new HamNet. It's held on Thursday evenings starting at 6 p.m. The net moderators, Steve, KJ7, RNB, and Gene, N7WDZ, are very good at getting new hams comfortable with the protocols, customs, and good operating procedures that are part of ham radio. It gets great reviews from new hams. It lasted a good 2 hours this last Thursday. It was really great. It is a super place to learn. Come and give it a try. It's the new HamNet, Thursdays, 6 p.m., right here on this same frequency that you're listening to me on tonight. And that is the end of tonight's QST. Roll call follows. Roll call roster is updated every week. Your call sign will be called if you've checked in at least one time during the past 4 weeks. When responding to net control, please indicate which repeater you are using. Repeater information helps the club make sure the repeater coverage is what we think it should be. Remember, if you have a short 1 minute or less comment or a short announcement, those are always welcome here on the net. Just mention your comment when you check in. If you have longer traffic, maybe something will take longer than just a minute, please indicate you have additional traffic. Be acknowledged. We'll circle back around to you and the mic over at the end of roll call. Of course, as always, after any additional traffic, net control will call for later missed check-ins and, of course, anyone visiting the net tonight. And as most of you heard, we encourage you to try out the club's newest repeater, affectionately known as B1, Bravo 1, Boulder 1, located up there on Red Mountain, just outside of Boulder City. Repeater B1 can be found by tuning your radio to 446.500 megahertz with a minus offset, and you want to use a tone of 156.7. That's 446.500, negative offset, tone of 156.7. And since this is the first net of the month, that means tonight's net control is in complete random order. Yes, completely randomized by Tim and his magical randomization machine. So listen closely. For your name, complete random order, and the first person up tonight is going to be John, KJ7MHB.
Good evening. This is John, KJ7MHB, coming in via H1 tonight. I'm using a mobile FTM 400 as a base. External antenna, grid power.
Thank you, John. Sounding good on H1. Up next, it's going to be Mike, KK7HQP.
This is Mike, KK7HQP, coming in on Echolink. No traffic.
Thank you, Mike. Got you in on Echolink. Next, looking for Darren, WS7R.
This is Darren, WS7R, coming in tonight from Mission Hills. And on the Yaesu stock rubber duck antenna, power, no further traffic.
Thank you, Darren. Got you in there from Mission Hills. Up next, it's going to be Tony, K7ZEX.
Hello, all. This is Tony, K7ZEX. Using a mobile as a base tonight. I'm on repeater Bravo 1. No traffic, back to net control.
Thank you, Tony. Sounding good on B1. Up next, looking for Drew, KJ7PAR. How about Dave, AK7I?
Well, good evening, Lawrence, and to the net. I'm getting to you through repeater Hotel 1, and I have no further traffic for the net. Have a good evening, everybody. AK7I, back to net control.
Thank you, Dave. Got you loud and clear. Up next, it's going to be Darren, KJ7UCS.
Good evening, everyone. KJ7UCS, Darren. I'm using a Yaesu FT991A coming through H1 with a Comet GP1 on the roof just north of the Henderson Airport. Thanks for doing the net, Lawrence. Back to net control, KJ7UCS.
Thank you, Darren. Sounding great. Up next, it's going to be Scott, KK6DZ. How about Vincent, N7VGK?
Well, that's super early, but thank you. Vincent, 7 Victor Juliet Kilo, coming through H1 on my rooftop antenna.
Thank you, Vincent. Got you checked in. Up next, it's going to be Bob, AK6RM.
Good evening, Lawrence of the Net. This is Bob, AK6RM, coming in through Hotel 1. Right here is a Kenwood D710 through a Comet CX333 antenna, operating out of Sun City Anthem on grid power. Back to you, back to net control, AK6RM.
Thank you, Bob. Sounding good tonight. How about Kathleen, KJ7QMU?
Good evening, Lawrence of the Net. KJ7QMU, Kathleen, coming from North Las Vegas. On the H2 Kilo with a Yaesu aftermarket diamond antenna. No further traffic, KJ7QMU.
Thanks, Kathleen. Got you checked in. This is Lawrence N6YFN continuing with roll call. Up next, it's going to be Peter, KJ7CZI.
Good evening, Lawrence. This is Peter, KJ7CZI, transmitting using a handheld on A1. No further traffic, back to net control.
Thank you, Peter. Got you checked in. Up next, looking for Andy, KJ7RFN.
This is KJ7RFN. Not sure if I'm making the repeater. I'm on a bouncing into B1 from my house in Henderson.
You're making it just perfect. Sounding good, Andy. Thanks for checking in. Up next is Sean, K2STC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm This is Sean, K2STC, coming in on Hotel 1 this evening. I'm using my handheld from the Southern Hills area. No further traffic. Back to net control, K2STC.
Thank you, Sean. Got you checked in. Up next, looking for Gene, KG7XD.
Good evening, Lawrence. This is Gene, KG7XD, on the B1, the Boulder City repeater. Let's see, I'm running a Yaesu FTM 500 into a J-pole antenna strategically painted the same color as my house, and 10 watts. 73 is all.
W7HEN.
Thank Thank you, Gene. Sounding good into B1. Got you checked in. Up next, it's Lynham, KK7BUD.
Hello to the net and everybody there. I'm probably not sounding all that great. I'm up here near South Point and on a JFT3D handheld. And I'm on Hotel 1 and no further traffic. So hopefully just checking in. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. KK7BUD.
We got you, Lynham. Thanks for checking in. Up next, it's going to be Jim, KJ7ZSS. How about Norm, W2AD?
This is Norm, W2AD, coming in on the new repeater, Boulder City, the B1. Really nice to have that going back then.
Sounding great, Norm, on B1. Got you checked in. Up next, it's going to be Andrew, KC8OUK. Excuse me, KC8UK. How about Rocky, W7NVS?
This is Rocky, W7NVS, on an Anytone 878, coming out of H1. No other traffic. Thank you.
Thank you, Rocky. Got you checked in. Up next, Stan, WA6NGU.
Good evening, everyone. Stan Henderson, WA6NGU on B1.
Thank you, Stan. Sounding good on B1. How about Tyler, KJ7ABN?
This is KJ7ABN. Echolink.
Thanks, Tyler. Got you in on Echolink. Up next, it's Brian, KK7COZ.
This is Brian, KK7COZ, coming in on N1H2. Technic control.
Thank you, Brian. Sounding good on the N1 input. It's drying out a little bit. Up next, looking for Norm, K7NOR. And up next, it's the Q himself. It's Dave, W3QQQ.
Good evening, Lawrence and everyone else on the net from Sun City, Summerlin. This is Whiskey 3QQQ. Going into A1 in Anthem. Motorola XTL 5000 outside Yagi antenna. That's about all I got. Thanks for doing the net tonight, Lawrence. Q back to you, sir.
Thank you, Dave. Switching it up into A1 tonight. How about we go to Alan, KG0Q. Looking for Chad, KK7NYE.
This is Chad coming in on Hotel 1 repeater. I'm at Horizon and Eastern. KK7NYE back to net control.
Thank you, Chad. Sounding good on H1. Up next is Carol, KF4KF.
Hello, Lawrence. Hello to you and to everyone else on the net. I'm coming through H1 on my handheld with battery power. I have Carol, KF4KF. No further traffic. Back to net.
Thank you, Carol. Got you checked in. How about Tim, W9AYK?
This is Tim, W9AYK on H2.
Thank you, Tim. Got you checked in. Up next is going to be Steve, N6SFX. Up next is going to be Bob, KC8EO. Excuse me, KC7EO.
Good evening. This is Bob, KC7EO, coming in on H2 and a handheld. Back to control.
Thank you, Bob. Got you checked in. Up next, looking for Gene, KB6CMO.
Gene, KB6CMO on Charlie 1 using an FT70D. No further traffic.
Thank you, Gene. Sounding good out there in California. Up next, how about Jason, WV3V? Up next is going to be Steve, KJ7RNB. Looking for our president, Bill, N4, and JJ.
Good evening, Lawrence, and everybody else on the net. This is Bill, N4, and JJ. Coming through, Bravo 1. Sounding great out here in Lone Mountain. I am on an ICOM 5100. It was great seeing so many people at the last meeting. Hopefully we can see everybody again at the end of this month. N4 and JJ, back net.
Sounds great, Bill. I concur. It was a great turnout. Thanks for checking in. Up next is going to be John, M. How about Bob, AD7J? Up next is Sam, KK7OSJ.
Good evening, everyone on the net. This is KK7OSJ, Sam, coming through Bravo 1, 73, KK7OSJ.
Thank you, Sam. Got you checked in. How about Tommy, KB7HTA?
Good evening, Lawrence in the net, KB7HTA, coming through H1 this evening using an IC7100 GP3 antenna, grid power, no traffic. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. Sounding good into H1. Up next is going to be Dan, W7IVK. And looking for Dave, KF7JAF.
Good evening, Lawrence and the net, KF7JAF on my handheld using an aftermarket diamond antenna inside the house going into Boulder 1. No further traffic. Back to net control.
W7HEN.
Thank you, Dave. Sounding good into B1. This is Lawrence, N6YFN. Continuing with the roll call. Up next is going to be Shane, KQWH.
Good evening, Lawrence. This is Shane. I'm coming in on B1 tonight with a Motorola Spectra pumping out 110 watts. Mobile antenna, MFJ 1412, and no further traffic. KG7QWH.
Thank you, Shane. Sounding good on the Spectra. Up next, it's Chuck, N2CLN. All right, Chuck. Maybe the N2 input still isn't working right. Kind of broken up there. I don't think it's your fault, but we got you anyway. Thanks for checking in. Up next, looking for Mike, KJ7LOO. How about Don, W7DGU?
Good evening, Lawrence. This is Don on A1 on my ICOM 5551. Well, something anyway. Back to you, Lawrence. I'm off tonight.
Well, that makes two of us, Don. I'm not reading the numbers right tonight, but we got you checked in. Thanks for joining us. Up next, how about Chuck, KJ7ETZ?
This is Chuck, KJ7ETZ on a mobile at the base with a G1 antenna outside. Grid power, no traffic on H5.
Thank you, Chuck. Sounding good out there in Pahrump. Appreciate you joining us tonight. How about Wayne, N7HWM? Looking for Matt, W7SWA.
Good evening, Lawrence and the rest of the net. This is Matt, W7SWA on All-Star using a Sherry node and my FT3. Thank you and good night.
Thanks, Matt. Sounding good on All-Star. Up next, how about Bill, W7WDJ?
Good evening, everybody. This is Bill, W7WDJ on my Lenco MD520 mobile as a base, coming to you through H1. No further traffic. Back to control, W7WDJ.
Thank you, Bill. Got you in on H1. Up next, how about Steve, KJ6WCS?
Good evening, Lawrence. This is KJ6WCS. Hello to everybody in the net. I'm on H1 tonight on my 705 with a GP3 hiding in the backyard from the HOA. No traffic. Back to you, Lawrence. Thank you for doing the net.
Thank you, Steve. Got you checked in. Next, looking for Joe, KO7CAV.
Good evening, everyone on the net. This is Joe, KO7CAV, coming in on Bravo 1 using a Baofeng with a Nagoya 7 1 antenna. Nothing further. Back to the net, KO7CAV.
Thank you, Joe. Got you checked in. Up next, how about Leo, KK7GPH?
Good evening, net control from the net. This is Leo, KK7GPH, transmitting from North Las Vegas via Bravo 1. Nothing further. Back to net control. Thank you for hosting.
Thanks, Leo. Got you checked in. Up next, how about Aaron, KJ7MNE? Looking for James, KK7IMD.
This is James, KK7IMD, coming to you on Hotel 2 on a Motorola XTS 2500. No further traffic. Back to net.
Thank you, James. Got you checked in. Up next, how about Frank, KK7BUA?
Good evening, Lawrence. Good evening to the net. This is Frank, KK7BUA, coming to you from Summerlin on my ICOM 5100 through B1. Thanks for doing the net, Lawrence.
Thank you. Got you in there into B1 from Summerlin. Sounding good. Up next, how about Jeff, KK7OFT?
K7OFT, coming in on H2N1 split. Thank you for doing the net.
Thank you, Jeff. Got you checked in. How about Gene, N7WDZ? Looking for Virginia, KJ7MNF.
This is KJ7MNF. I'm on Echolink, and I just wanted to let you know that I heard Aaron transmitting downstairs, but I didn't hear it on my phone. So can you check him in as well? Thank you. Back to you.
I will do. Not a problem. Got him checked in along with you. Thank you both for joining us tonight. Up next, how about Jerry, W8JRC?
Evening, Lawrence and the net. This is W8JRC Jerry on ICOM 5100 with a Diamond 300 antenna on grid power on the H2 repeater. Back to you.
Thank you, Jerry. Sounding good. How about we go to Dave, KJ7WGH?
Yes, this is Dave, KJ7WGH. Echolink, St. George, Utah, KJ7WGH. Back to you.
Thank you, Dave. Got you checked in. Up next, it's going to be Mike, KM7MLH. Looking for Larry, K7LPK.
This is Larry, K7LPK, coming in through the Anthem A1 repeater. I'm on a Yaesu FT70DR stock antenna. Back to net control.
Thanks, Larry. Got you checked in. Up next, it's Daniel, N2NJB.
It is a great night. It's Daniel, N2NJB.
All right, Daniel, got you checked in. Up next, it's going to be Ralph, KD7BNP.
KD7BNP, checking in on DMR.
W7HEN, repeater, H2.
All right. Ralph, got you checked in on the DMR link. Thanks for joining us tonight. Sounding good. Up next, it's going to be Jerry, KD7YMO.
Good evening, Lawrence and the rest of the net. This is Jerry, KD7YMO on H2 with an ICOM mobile grid power and a Comet GB6 outdoors. No further traffic. Back to night control. KD7YMO.
Thank you, Jerry. Got you checked in. This is Lawrence, N6YFN. Continuing with the roll call. Up next, it's going to be Keith, K7KSG.
Good evening, net control. K7KSG, broadcasting into H2 with a Yaesu FT991. Going to Aggie, aimed at H2 and picking up a 30-knot tailwind. Hopefully my signal's getting in really fast. Back to net.
It's making it through, Keith. Good to hear from you. Got you checked in. Up next, we're going to be going to Bill, N2THO.
N2THO on H1 using mobile rig as the base and vertical off of grid power. No further traffic. Back to you.
Thank you, Bill. Sounding good. Up next, it's Glenn, N8HC.
And good evening to the net. This is Glenn of Everett Hotel, California, coming in on H3 via a mobile as a base. I have no traffic. Back to net.
Thank you, Glenn. Sounding good. Up next, it's going to be David, W7JCK.
Good evening to everybody on the net. This is David, Whiskey 7 Jack. Transmitting tonight from Boulder City on the B1 repeater. Anytone 878 handheld. Just looking at the beautiful lake from my backyard. Whiskey 7 JCK.
Yay. Glad you can get in from Boulder City with a handheld now. Sounding great. Thanks for checking in on B1. Up next, how about Bill, KJ7KJV? How about Ryan, KJ7ABK?
Good evening to you, Lawrence, and everyone on the net. This is
Ryan, KJ7APK, coming into H1. No further traffic back to net control.
Thank you, Ryan. Got you checked in. Up next, looking for a Michael, WN7CTS. How about Glenn, W7GPS?
Hi, everyone on the net. This is Glenn, W7GPS. I'm using H1 tonight. I have no further traffic. Back to net control. Whiskey 7, Golf Papa Sierra.
Thank you, Glenn. Got you checked in. How about we go to Kenyon, KK7HGW? Up next is Tim, K7JTC.
Well, good evening, Lawrence, and the rest of the net, and thank you for taking the net tonight. It's always appreciated. I'm on a 991 going into H1 through antenna on grid power. No further traffic. Back to net control, K7JTC.
Thank you, Tim. Got you checked in. Appreciate you always helping out. Next, it is going to be Jay, AT5LA.
Good evening, Lawrence, and everyone in greater Las Vegas, greater Los Angeles, and all the ships at sea. KT5LA from the South Bay of Los Angeles to an FT991 with an antenna on the roof. And can I take just a moment the passing of a noted amateur radio operator from this past week, Bob Heil, EID, who was from Illinois. You may know him from Heil's Sound, and he may have a headset or I just took possession of a book, in fact, this past week and installed it that this Electro Voice mic is hanging on. And I've got a number of adapters. He was a supporter commercially and otherwise of amateur radio, a sponsor of amateur radio and editions. And I just wanted to note for the net his passing, I believe this past week. Bob Heil, K9EID. That's my Los Angeles, KT5LA. Good evening.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you for the mention on that. I did see a little blurb on that. He definitely had some great influence in the audio and the amateur radio community. Thank you for mentioning Bob Heil. Up next is going to be Ralph, KI7ZOI.
This is KI7ZOI, H2 repeater, using a 50-watt Anytone tri-band as a mobile as a base. No traffic.
Thank you, Ralph. Got you checked in. How about Frank, N2 DKI?
Good evening, Lawrence, and everyone on the net. Frank, N2 DKI, downtown Henderson on H6.
Thank you, Frank. Sounding excellent on H6. How about we go to Linda, KJ7OWF?
Good evening, everyone on the net tonight. And I'm using H2, and I'm using the usual Motorola 4550 grid power and exterior antenna, KJ7OWF.
Thank you, Linda. Sounding good on H2. Up next, how about Albert, KK7NML?
Good evening to the net. This is Albert, Kilo 7, November Mike Lima. I'm going into H1 with an outside antenna. No further traffic. Back to you, KK7NML.
Thank you, Albert. Got you in there. How about we go to Jerry, KD7OKK?
Good evening to the net. This is Jerry, KD7OKK, coming in on H1. No further traffic.
Thank you, Jerry. Got you in on H1. Up next is Steve, KK7NST. How about Rick, KG6UYS? Looking for Tracy, KJ7FPP.
Good evening, Lawrence and the net. Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot, Papa Fox. Just let you know my trash cans are safe and not running down the street. They spent the night in the garage, and my antenna is now standing back on its feet on its tripod in its backyard. B71 mobile is finished.
And looking for Adam, NX7T.
Good evening, Lawrence and the rest of the net. Coming on A1 using a Hicom base station on grid power. No further traffic. NX7T back to net.
Thank you, Adam. Got you in there on A1. All right, that is the list as I have it for tonight in completely random order, which sometimes means that you maybe missed me or I maybe missed you. So if you're normally on the list, you're normally called, and maybe we didn't connect on this first round, and you'd like to check in, please call Net Control now.
Kilo Golf 0 Quebec, Alan speaking.
W17 CTS, Michael.
Okay, Alan, I got you, KG0Q, and then there was a double, so the two stations that doubled. Couldn't pull anyone out there. Try it again.
KK6TZ. WN7CTS.
All righty, Michael, WN7CTS, I got you, and Scott, KK6DZ, got you. All right, anyone else who's normally on the list and you'd like to check in, please call Net Control now.
Kilo 7, Hotel Golf Whiskey, Kenyon.
Kilo Juliet 7, Romeo November Bravo, Steve.
WA6NGU, Dan.
All right, Steve, I got you checked in, and Kenyon, K7HGW, got you checked in. And I'm sorry, I was writing somebody else down, and I was looking for your name. The last station. Go ahead.
WA6NGU. Not sure if I made it earlier. Getting some other links.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I had you checked out. WA6NGU, got you checked in. All right, one more time. Normally on the list, we normally call you, and you'd like to check in, please call Net Control now.
86SIN, Paul.
Okay, Paul, got you checked in. Thanks for joining us. All right, we'll now open it up. If you're a visitor, you're a member, you're just passing through town and would like to check into the Henderson Amateur Radio Club Sunday Night Net, please call.
Yes, Jay, KK1RNK on Anytone 58883, using a Connet SFD 224, using a LiPo battery manpack.
Okay, KK1RNT, I believe. I did not get your first name. Can you come back with that, please?
It's Jay. It's actually Romeo Nevada Kilo.
All right, Jay, we got you. KK1RNK. All right, got you checked in. One more call for any visitors, members who would like to check in. Please call Net Control now. All right, hearing no one, we will close out the roll call for tonight. This is Lawrence N6YFN. Quick recap of a couple things coming up this week. Remember, there will be a Tuesday morning breakfast meeting this Tuesday, March 5th, at the Skyline Hotel and Casino Restaurant. It's right there on Boulder Highway, 1741 North Boulder Highway, to be specific, in Henderson. Starts right around 7:30, 8 a.m. The Talark membership meeting is scheduled for March 13th. The American Legion BMI Post 40. It's in their annex, just a little room right off the main hall. It's located at 425 East Van Wagenen Street. Meeting starts at 6 p.m. The next Henderson Amateur Radio Club General Membership meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 26th. Meetings are held at that same American Legion Post 40 on 425 East Van Wagenen Street, starting at 6 p.m. Tune into these frequencies every Thursday, also at 6 p.m. for the new HamsNet. And thanks for everyone who has renewed their dues this year. Your participation is what makes this club great. For more information about these and other activities, please check out the W7HEN.org website. Check out the calendar, which was just updated, I'm told. So all the latest activities are listed on the calendar. Being a net control operator is a valuable skill to have. It's a skill that gets better with practice. If you're interested in becoming a net control operator for the Sunday Night Net, even if you can only sign up for one net every 3 months, send an email to netcontrol, all one word, netcontrol at W7HEN.org. We will get you started. And of course, thanks for your help and participation, anyone who may be interested in running the Sunday Night Net. We're always looking for ways to better serve our members. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or comments, please send the information to any board member. Email addresses can be found on the W7HEN.org website. Click on the Meet the Team tab right there at the top. And finally, if you'd like to become a member of the Henderson Amateur Radio Club, just visit that same website, W7HEN.org. Click on the big Join Now button. We'd love to have you on board. Thanks for everyone's participation this evening. This concludes the Henderson Amateur Radio Club Sunday Night Net. I now return the network back to regular use. at 7:52 p.m. Stay safe, stay happy. 732 all. This is Lawrence, N6 YFM.